Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kyle Richards gives an update on her fear of flying after a scare with Erika Jayne. Housewives Kyle Richards explained that she and Erika Jayne recently found themselves flopping and bouncing mid-flight. Kyle Richards of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills continues to be candid about living with anxiety. During a July 17 Amazon Live, she specifically opened up about her fear of flying while recalling a recent experience with Erika Jayne in Arizona. As she put it, when you fly when it's that hot, not fun, because of the turbulence. How hot was it in Arizona exactly? I looked over at Erika's phone, and it said 111 degrees while we were in the air, and we were bouncing really hard, Kyle recalled. I've gone through hypnotherapy for my fear of flying, and it's helped. I'm really a much better flyer now, but no, I don't want to be flying when it's hot and we're bouncing and flopping around like that. Nope, no. Still, the housewife hasn't given up on conquering her anxieties, but she may have a little way to go before soaring cruise altitude above said fears. Fans may recall that Kyle underwent hypnotherapy to overcome her fear of flying on the very first season of Housewives in 2010. More specifically, on Season 1, Episode 5, former housewife Lisa Vanderpump convinced Kyle to see a hypnotherapist before a 6-hour trip to New York because Kyle was a pain in the butt when it comes to flying. Kyle admitted she disliked the feeling of not being in control. So in Kyle's home, hypnotherapist Tom Silver used electrodes on her head and guided her through a trance to help her aerophobic concerns. I have a feeling it's gonna work, Kyle said at the time. I'm very positive. Flash forward to Housewives Season 6, when Kyle invited the same hypnotherapist back to help former housewife Eileen Davidson get over her flying fears. Kyle said Silver saved her back in 2010, and she hoped the same for Eileen and her absurdly horrible phobia. To prove just how far she's come, Kyle sat in the co-pilot's chair of a PJ, which Housewives audiences know stands for private jet, for an exciting getaway to Cabo back in 2016. I've come a long way with my fear of flying, she said in a June 2016 Instagram post. Lisa Vanderpump took credit for the achievement in the comment section when she stated, "Yep, thanks to me." Get more updates on Kyle's life today, including the latest on her recent fallout with Garcelle Beauvais. For Kyle Richards, flying has always been a complicated affair. As one of the most beloved stars of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, traveling for work, family, and lavish vacations is a given, but for Kyle, each takeoff has carried with it a touch of anxiety. A quiet fear she rarely shared publicly. That is, until one recent flight with fellow housewife Erika Jayne turned a normal travel day into a terrifying experience and ultimately changed the way Kyle talks about her long-standing phobia. It all started on a perfectly sunny morning at Van Nuys Airport, where the housewives were set to jet off for a weekend girls' trip. Erika Jayne, known for her love of private jets and high-octane glam, was leading the charge. Dressed in a metallic bomber jacket, oversized sunglasses, and carrying an air of Hollywood royalty, Erika waved Kyle onto the small, luxurious jet like it was no big deal. But for Kyle, the moment she stepped onto the plane, the nerves began to bubble. I've always had this little fear of flying, even though I fly all the time for the show and my family, Kyle admitted later. It's manageable most of the time, but there's this part of me that's always holding my breath until we're safely on the ground. The flight began smoothly. The ladies sipped champagne, chatted about upcoming filming schedules, and even teased each other about potential drama in their destination city. But about 40 minutes in, as the jet cruised above a blanket of clouds, turbulence hit. And it wasn't the mild, bumpy kind. It felt like we dropped 10 feet in a second, and everything inside the cabin shook, Kyle recalled. My stomach dropped. My hands were gripping the armrest so hard, I thought I left fingerprints in the leather. Even Erika Jayne, famously unflappable, looked up from her phone as the plane lurched again, harder this time. The pilot's calm voice over the intercom reassured them it was just a patch of rough air, but for Kyle, the moment was anything but routine. I could feel my heart pounding in my ears. I looked at Erika and said, I can't do this, Kyle revealed. Erika, of course, stayed cool as ice. She grabbed my hand and said, "Honey, if it's our time, we're going out fabulous." And I thought only Erika could say something like that in the middle of turbulence. When the plane eventually steadied, Kyle was visibly shaken. For the rest of the flight, she clutched a small travel cross necklace and quietly did breathing exercises, techniques she'd picked up from therapy over the years. By the time they landed, she knew something had to change. I told Erika, "That's it. I'm done pretending this isn't a thing for me. I need to work on this fear," Kyle said. That flight shook me to my core, and I realized how much anxiety I'd been carrying every time I board a plane. Facing the fear head on. In the days after the flight, Kyle did something she hadn't done before. She spoke openly about her fear on social media. In an Instagram story, she told her followers, "Okay, real talk, today's flight freaked me out. If anyone has tips on conquering a fear of flying, DM me because I need all the help I can get." The response was overwhelming. Hundreds of fans shared their own stories, recommending everything from guided meditation apps to full-on fear of flying courses. Even a few celebrity friends reached out privately to share their own aviation anxieties. People assume because we live these glamorous lives, we're fearless about everything, Kyle explained. But fear doesn't care how many Bravo reunions you've done. It's real, and it can be paralyzing. Seeing how many people felt the same way gave me comfort. A Hollywood approach to healing. Determined to take control, Kyle enrolled in a Los Angeles-based fear of flying workshop. The program, run by former pilots and therapists, helps people understand the mechanics of flight while teaching anxiety management techniques. "The science part blew my mind," Kyle said. "Understanding why turbulence happens, why planes don't just fall out of the sky, and how incredibly safe flying actually is, it started to shift something in me." One exercise involved sitting in a realistic flight simulator while listening to common flight sounds, engine hums, cabin creaks, even turbulence audio, while practicing relaxation techniques. It was intense, Kyle admitted, but after each session I felt a little braver. Erika Jayne's support. Meanwhile, Erika Jayne hasn't let Kyle live down the "if it's our time, we're going out fabulous" moment. In true Erika fashion, she even sent Kyle a rhinestone-covered stress ball shaped like a jet with a note that read, "Squeeze me before takeoff, darling." Erika makes everything funny and fabulous, even when you're terrified, Kyle laughed. She's been really supportive through all this, checking in and making jokes to lighten the mood.